gotta be topical and controversial, man.
Why?
Because that's where it's all at. That's Hollywood now.
Why can't
I
you just
mean,
have like true facts, not fake facts?
it's controversial that it's not Scarlett Johansson. Like, where's
Oh,
my white Asian actress at? Like,
oh, that's true. Well, they could change her eyes digitally. I mean, that
oh yeah,
exists out there.
uh,
Yeah, no, I didn't. Completely missed the Mulan news. So when you said it, I was like, "What happened with Mulan? What's happening even?"
it's literally like 20 minutes ago.
That's
Like,
cool. I'm glad it's happening. Like I
yeah,
really wanted to see that movie. So
like, it's taken a year to find her. Just like Crow.
wow.
Is the pull for Asian actresses that shallow?
Well, I don't think it's that shallow. I think the problem is they're just like, okay, we need to find the one that's the best in what we need, but also it's got to have like a worldwide appeal, which is like why you said it's like that's why they cast freaking Scarlett Johansson and everything. Because they're like, well, yeah,
She used to bring in money.
everybody knows her. Yeah, exactly. Oh, the world these days.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay, guys, so we are back once again here to talk all about the movie industry and some crazy happenings over in Hollywood. And believe it or not, it's Hollywood, so it's definitely crazy as you guys might expect. Now, of course, I am your host, Armin. You can find me at Armini's and at Comic Book Cast, where you guys can get the latest updates from usually Joe on there. I'm also here with Mitch.
Well, you can follow me at Mitch692.
And also Tristan. Fine. Wait.
I was going to say, like, there's the Tumbleweed. You can follow him.
You follow
Dust Cloud.
Dust Cloud. He's just busy, I don't know, playing Skyrim on, I don't know, the N-Gage. That probably has Skyrim, I assume.
I mean, it could probably run Skyrim.
Yeah, well, at this point, anything can run. I'm honestly surprised Skyrim isn't on iPhones yet, but give it like a year and it'll probably be on them.
Oh, 100%. The
Like,
next iPhone it will have on.
oh, totally, totally. And it'll be something that's like, look at the power of this. You can play Skyrim now. Yep. So that's what Tristan's doing. He's beta testing Skyrim, probably.
Nah, I just had something really quick to do.
I say your name, and it's just like, you can hear the tumbleweed roll in the background, so. Yep. So, yeah, let's get into the week that is and the week that was, I guess, with film news and the future of Hollywood. Probably a good future, too. Kicking it right off into the first topic, guys. The Justice League. It came out.
It definitely came out.
It came out. It had a box office. It had a box office performance that, we all overshot by like 10 to 15 million. It's severely.
Did we do our predictions for that?
Oh, we did, but
Did we? I thought we missed it.
no, because we did them like a week before. Because I was like, we're probably gonna miss them.
I remember doing this still once.
Maybe I'm
I was
making
like,
that up. Maybe I just dreamt that up. I'm not sure.
I'm kind of,
Yeah,
yeah, I'm certain we didn't do it. Yeah, I think
Yeah.
we did still.
maybe we missed it. Anyway, it performed quite a big number under what was expected, like 20 million under what was expected. Now, not only that, it's been struggling in the United States, and the box office predictions are now saying this movie is going to probably struggle to break even. So that's a big problem for literally Warner Brothers, I would say, biggest movie of the year.
Well, I'd assume it's their biggest movie,
Yeah.
especially in this day and age with comic book movies being the thing. Like their biggest one is failing. It's a yikes at this point. Like,
And the thing is, like, I listened to you and Joe. You guys had a good spoiler cast on it, and like I said in my review, I enjoy this movie.
Same?
I thought it was a good, enjoyable movie, but people clearly are not going to see this movie, which is a major, major problem. And when you look at this movie and back it up with Warner Brothers' second biggest movie of the year, which was Blade Runner 2049, both are box office bombs. So
Yeah.
it's Warner Brothers right now is in a very tricky situation, you could say, which kind of puts them up against the wall because you're looking at the Justice League and you're looking at this box office and where do they go with it? And you kind of have to start to wonder, what are they going to think of this franchise? Like, how big is the struggle going to be? Because they thought the second weekend it was going to do far better. And they're like, oh, look, it only took a drop of like 51%, but it's like, but you counted 5 days for that because of Thanksgiving. So,
Yeah. I mean, like like they would have to try and figure out something because the most iconic heroes, sans Cyborg, couldn't even beat Thor.
Mm-hmm.
And I think like
that's it's the problem with rushing it, really. Like
Yeah.
That's one part of it. The other part is people clearly smelt the shit on this movie.
Mm.
Like, yes, it doesn't help that but people smelt the shit on it. And I honestly think the whole Whedon thing, and then hearing that there's 3 months of reshoots and they're going to be extensive, really put people off.
Yeah.
and like I just want like everyone to know like everyone's at fault here. WB, Snyder, and
100%.
and Josh. It's not just all it's because of Josh that Snyder couldn't get his vision out. No, everyone has a part of the blame here.
I mean,
Yeah.
you can tell exactly what went wrong and where because it's been so heavily reported and collaborated, and we know what's been going on, even if they don't admit it. And that's what's unfortunate. And when it comes to the Justice League itself, I think this movie now shows that this franchise, other than Wonder Woman, is diminishing returns. There is, with this box office performance, there is no way in hell this is getting a official sequel. It's not happening. It's too big of a risk. Like, imagine if Batman and Robin, they're like, you know what, that movie severely underperformed, but let's make Batman triumphant. No, of course that wasn't going to happen. And imagine if this movie was the original take where it was supposed to be 2 parts. Right now, Warner Brothers would probably be so far off that their investors would pull all support. So they probably made the right decision, seeing how the movie was shaping up, to cut it down into 1, part and do massive extended shoots. And we still got the movie we did.
Know. I don't know if that hindered it. So at least if you it would then have been an actual solid movie.
Mm-hmm.
It wouldn't have been this Frankenstein mess that we have right now, which I think is probably the biggest part of it. It's just a mess.
Yeah.
Don't wait. If it at least with Snyder, like him or not, if it's a good movie or bad movie, whatever you think, it would have been a movie.
Yeah.
Like BVS failed on one part because WB edited the fuck out of it.
Mm-hmm.
Now, sure, you could say Snyder should have made a movie that could fit 2.5 hours, but no, if he's making a movie that's supposed to be 2, then you're gonna have to fuck about with it. And it's like, if you didn't fuck about with it and had the 2 movies, you probably would have got more money. But I don't know. That's just me speculating.
It's very true.
Like, I know like some people were even speculating that Aquaman might not even like do well next year, and it's probably going to see what's going to happen after this to see if they continue or not, because most people are on an understanding that Wonder Woman 2 is probably going to do good if everything still is consistent with her character.
I mean, the way you look at it is Wonder Woman was so big this year that people were like, oh man, with Wonder Woman in there, it's guaranteed to break $1 billion. Wonder Woman didn't help this movie at all. On the contrary,
honestly shocked me, to be honest.
That's like, I don't get it. That shocked me too. And what the big telling was, my wife, she does like, she's a black belt. She goes and does the testing. So I go with her occasionally. And whenever I'm there, people love to talk to me about, because they know I do this. And, I'm like the guy that knows everything. And they all walked up to me. They're like, so we're not seeing Justice League. And I'm like, but you all loved Wonder Woman. They're like, yeah, we don't care. We just don't trust it after Batman v Superman. I was like, that brand is so hurt that they're only going to trust this standalone movie. I feel that Aquaman is going to suffer greatly. Even if the movie's semi-decent, I feel like people will just go, I don't know. Like,
I don't know if I agree with that, because I think it's going to feel a lot different, like how Wonder Woman felt different to everything. And I think it's going to be. It might do enough. I hope.
I mean, if it's standalone like Wonder Woman, yeah. But if it ties into Justice League, that's where people are kind of iffy on the topic.
I don't think it is going to tie to Justice League. They're ignoring the fucking water bubble things.
Let me ask you guys this one then: if Wonder Woman could pull in that much of a number, but we know what that movie had going for it. Wonder Woman, biggest female icon superhero of all time. The female demographic, they all loved it. Who is Aquaman really going after? Because he's been a butt of so many jokes. It's going after me, right? But in the comic book nerd, but if the movie comes out, let's say hypothetically, as a 60% or less, I think just like Justice League is going to detour away a lot of people. Now, in my heart, I believe that James Wan is going to deliver possibly the best DCEU movie we've gotten so far. I truly believe that because that dude is talented. When you see him talk about Aquaman, he understands it. He loves the character, but I don't trust Warner Brothers. I feel like they're going to go, recut it, tell them to do certain reshoots, and it's just going to fall apart because that's their tendency. That's what they've done. It's the big fear I have. I just don't trust them anymore.
See, I don't. Did they do that with Wonder Woman?
A small degree was done.
I think you might get the same sort of treatment, like just to make sure.
Yeah.
Like if they just send in Johns and Johns is like, yeah, it's fine. Which if you're blaming Johns for Justice, you can fuck off because that's wrong. Like Johns did nothing wrong with that movie.
Mm-hmm.
Like I think what all Aquaman has to do is not have negative press and have good trailers. It just needs to look good.
Yeah.
And I think it'll be fine with just that.
Yeah. I mean, realistically, I'm saying Aquaman's probably not going to do Wonder Woman numbers. It might not even do Justice League numbers. It's probably going to do like Ant-Man numbers. And you know what? If it does $500 million for an Aquaman movie,
I was going to say, if Aquaman can break the stigma it has and get 500, it's a win.
Yeah, huge win.
Even if it makes store one numbers, it's a win. Yeah. You know, people still see the fucking thing. So
yeah, exactly. So I think Aquaman's good. Justice League was a blunder. Let's just move past it, and hopefully Warner Brothers can recover with the DC movies because I liked some of the elements in Justice League, but the overall,
I think they can. I think all they have to do is just put their heads down and just make the solo movies.
Mm-hmm.
Just and have the characters consistent and then just try again.
So what you're saying is they should do what we've been telling them they should do since Man of Steel.
100%, because that's another problem with the movie. Like you don't care about anyone.
Yeah.
Like who the fuck is Barry Allen in this movie?
Yeah.
Apart from some weird arm flinging person.
Barry Allen. I've never faced anybody. I've never been in a fight. Meanwhile, Suicide Squad shows him taking on Boomerang. All right, whatever movie.
It's just kind of like, why, how, why do you even have
just pushes people and runs away?
Yeah, it was weird, man. It was weird, but hey, Justice League. Hopefully, they can recover from this one and on to greener pastures. Hopefully.
Hey, greener.
Yeah. Speaking of greener pastures, big news coming in. Disney and Fox are back at the negotiating table. And Disney has apparently done what they did before they bought Marvel and what they did before they bought Star Wars. Complete dead silence, lock in, they don't want anything getting out, which means we could potentially be right now, like moments away to weeks away from the official merger happening. So,
yeah,
dude, and what I find also interesting is that the more they talk about people in Hollywood that have worked with Fox, such as James Cameron, they're completely like you understand Fox is going to tell James Cameron if something's about to go down. And he's just like, oh yeah, I'm just going to keep making my movies. It's all good. Disney's actually a big investor into Avatar. It's all good. I'm like, okay. All right.
Mean, they have the Avatar land, so yeah, they'll be fine. To be honest, I say all the films will be fine just because if they do buy them, that doesn't negate everything that's in production.
No, it doesn't. And honestly, people constantly, the moment this gets brought up, there's always the comments and the people that are like, Disney's going to not do rated R. I'm like, dude, they got Miramax. They do rated R and that. Yeah. Like, they would just dump all that on there. Like, I could legitimately see, and we're going to talk about more about the Marvel core properties in the core show. We're talking about some of the other ones here. Honestly, I could see Disney picking this up and being like, all right, people really like them Alien movies. Let's actually give them a movie that they want, not this Ridley Scott mess. And I think they could recover the franchise, dude. I think they could.
I'd like to think it's salvageable. I honestly don't know right now.
Full on reboot. Don't even continue. Just reboot it, ground up. I'm telling you, that's what you need.
Let's have this conversation. If you reboot Alien, who the fuck do you get for Ridley or Ripley?
All right, so here's the thing. You don't even do Ripley. You just do you remember Ultimates, obviously, Marvel. Like, it's Marvel, but it's completely retold. We're doing it different take on it, different characters, like still kind of the pseudo same. Honestly, I would just do the same thing you would do like with a hypothetical possible Terminator reboot. You call it Alien, but it's completely different story. Like, it's a ground up reboot from the start. You don't mess with anything. Kind of like Dredd was to Judge Dredd, that type of thing. Like, I would just straight up grounds reboot. And I think Disney would honestly take that approach because there's too much baggage on the other stuff. I mean, they could have taken like Spider-Man and said, okay, we'll work the Amazing Spider-Man in. No, too much baggage. They're just
True.
I think it would be a just clean-cut reboot on everything they touch. So it's
true. I just don't know if I'm ready to see Alien. Well, I mean, I've already seen Alien without Sigourney Weaver, but I mean, just like going forward without that, I don't know.
Or they could do the thing that everybody wants. They go, listen, they're like, all right, Blomkamp, here you go.
Oh, don't.
You want it?
My hopes and dreams. That'd be the perfect Alien movie. I mean, if you get Blomkamp to do the reboot, I think that,
Yeah. And
give him the...
You're also looking at all these other things they could do, like the animated features. Like, I know some of our listeners aren't necessarily going to be on board with these, but like the Trolls franchise, the Rio franchise, those animated films, the Kung Fu Panda, those would be huge for Disney. Like, imagine that catalog of films. Like, my lord.
Kung Fu Panda's a fucking moneymaker.
Yeah.
And Disney's one of these, like, when they got Pixar, they're like, make more of these movies.
Mm-hmm.
If they see potential, they're going to pump it out.
Yep. I think there's a lot that they're going after this deal for, because not just the library, the numerous franchises you could do. Planet of the Apes, that's not going anywhere. There's many more stories you could tell in that universe. Yeah. So
it's also like, it's not just about rights, it's about infrastructure.
Yep.
Marvel, yes, they're making like 5 films at a time, but that's all they can make.
Mm-hmm.
You buy Fox or 21st Century, you got a bigger studio,
and
you got a bigger workforce.
And that's also like what people are forgetting. When they buy all this, they're also buying the giant sound stages and studios in Hollywood and around the world that are Fox. So if Marvel was to suddenly gain Alien and X-Men and all this, they don't have to shove their own resources into it, because they have all these other studios and properties that they can now just go, yeah, here you go. You guys just follow our lead and we'll take it, just like they did with Spider-Man and Disney. Like, follow our lead and you'll be safe. So there's a lot of potential here. And the fact that the deal could just be moments away at any moment, it's really interesting. Like, it's going to change the landscape of Hollywood.
Yeah, I just don't want to think it's going to happen.
I know.
it's one of those where it's like, it's going to happen. It's going to fucking happen.
Yeah.
I just don't want to think it's going to happen.
And the thing is,
ignore it until it's announced. Like, just push it away.
And I made a video where people are like, dude, you make a good point, where I broke down every studio that could want to buy, Fox. And legitimately, everybody was like, dude, you make a good point on everything. I was like, yeah, there's no way any of these other studios can even compete with Disney's money. And even if they divide up the franchises, Disney will not let X-Men and Fantastic Four go. So those are guaranteed coming in the next couple of years, just by the virtue of the Fox needing to sell.
At least the Fantastic Four. I don't know what they do with X-Men. I can honestly see them keeping X-Men as is.
For a while, and then once they run out of the current idea for the next 10 years, then they work it in. I mean...
Or something like that. It's... I think at this point, X-Men is too much just to push into the MCU.
True.
Fantastic Four, you can just do whatever you want.
Yeah.
But, like, New Mutants... Sure, you can maybe do New Mutants and Deadpool or the Deadpool franchise. But they're like Dark Phoenix, no hope.
Yeah. So, it's an interesting time in Hollywood. We're just going to wait for the announcement. Just drop it before Christmas, Disney. Make all of our dreams come true.
I'd say you would hear about Avengers 4 reshoots, I can guarantee it.
Oh, yeah. Oh, totally.
Crazy.
Totally. Oh, man. All those rumors are going to spike up. So, our last topic for today is Star Wars. There's a lot of expectations going into this new movie. Rightfully so. The box office numbers seem to be quite literally off the charts. It's expected that in one weekend, this movie will make what Justice League did in 2 weeks. So, that should just kind of gauge for you the power of Star Wars at this point.
Yeah. But what did The Force Awakens make opening weekend?
Worldwide, it was something like over 400. It was ridiculous.
Yeah. The Last Jedi is, for domestic, it's just 200, isn't it? I say just 200 like it's nothing.
Yeah, that's what they're saying. But it's like, dude, come on. Like, we know it's probably going to go up from that once reviews hit and people because The Force Awakens made $2 billion $2 billion.
That's fucking nuts.
What is that even? Like, I can't even like trying to write that down. You're like, huh? Like it's ridiculous.
So what would you do with $2 billion?
Yeah.
I mean, sure, like, you know, they didn't get $2 billion. They probably only got like 1.2, 1.3 of it because obviously it's got to be divvied up and all that.
Yeah.
Probably even less than that. But, you know.
Like, you guys want to know, like, how much it made domestic? Or close to it? It made close to $1 billion in domestic and over $1 billion in foreign.
Yep. So,
Crap.
I'm looking right now. The opening of Force Awakens for the opening weekend was $390 million. Good God. Wow, that's a huge worldwide take. So it's probably going to do around that or slightly more. It does have the stigma of being the middle movie, which that's always iffy. I mean, we've seen with Age of Ultron and things like that, but that could always change at the, flip of a button, so you never know these things.
Yeah. I mean, there's always that thing, like, is a sequel always better? Or is the sequel normally better than the original? Or is, like, the sequel always worse than the original? Like, which one?
It's like a 50-50 toss-up most of the time.
Yeah. I think Star Wars now, I think this movie specifically, could actually mirror Age of Ultron in the exact same way. And the reason I say this is because, once again, Disney, before the next big second movie is out, comes out and announces an entire other plan that people are more excited about. Because everybody's like, ooh, Old Republic. So I think it's...
Please no.
It could suffer a little bit from that. Well, you don't want that Revan, bro? You don't want Revan?
No, like, that's all I ever see in, like, comments and threads. If they need to do a new trilogy, let's go back in time and retell old stories. No, I don't want that.
It's going to happen, though. You know that's what they're going to do. Like, there's
I
no
mean,
fighting it.
you can do that on the TV show for the streaming service.
Oh.
I think the Old Republic style would fit that better.
Or if they still keep doing it, they'll do those anthology one-and-done movies.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, so what are your guys' expectations for Star Wars, the film as a whole, the box office, the film itself? Are you going in super prepared? Like, I feel weird about this movie. And I'm not saying I'm not excited. Trust me, I'm beyond excited, but I'm not as excited as Force Awakens, and that's quite obvious why, because it doesn't have that,
Yeah, that's where I'm at right now. It's like, I'm excited, but I'm not like, oh my God, it's Star Wars. It's just, I'm like, I'm going to see the movie, and hopefully it's good. It doesn't, go beat for beat, which it probably will.
See, I wonder about that, because, if he, like, why has he been given the keys to a new trilogy? Like, is it because they made him do episode 9 or 8, whatever it is, this one is, like, a beat for beat one, like Force Awakens was? Or is it because it's like, you did something different. Here, have a completely different trilogy you want to do by yourself.
That's what it seems like to me, because one of the criticisms that Disney themselves have said that they understand is that both fans want new and different stories, not like a continuation somewhat from the older trilogies to keep going, like with the Skywalker family line. Not many people really want to keep going with that family line and just want to go with completely new characters and new situations.
Yeah, because it's like we know the movie's going to be good regardless.
Yeah.
Like, you don't have the director get an entirely new trilogy if it's going to be bad, or if they don't at least have faith in it. So I'm not expecting it to be anything less than good. So I don't know.
Same.
But box office wise, I don't think it will do an Age of Ultron style, because I think Age of Ultron had, like, not only the announcing the things that coming after, but it also had that boxing match on that week, and I think that probably hurt him more.
Oh, I would agree 100%. Yeah.
So, plus there's nothing round Star Wars at Christmas anyway. So
True, everything actually runs away from Star Wars now. So
unless you're Aquaman, then you're kind of
yeah.
I mean, EA made people run away from Star Wars.
I mean, that's EA. Like, they ain't having that any longer. So
well, EA is running from EA at this point, so they ain't too far off. So yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed this podcast. Hopefully you guys enjoyed our talks on the various topics. And as always, if you guys want more discussions on films, we do have our normal show, which will be going up, which will be discussing far more into the Fox potential Disney merger and various other things. So see you guys on that show.